Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session. My name is GP Njoko. I am managing partner GP Project. GP Project is a project, business, and process design, development, and automation firm. This conversation is supposed to be on needs, so I don't want to dwell so much about our firm. But if you want to learn about what we do and maybe how we can be of support to your business, your firm, your project, or your personal career, I recommend you visit our website, www.gp.com. Without much ado, let's just get right into the conversation. So the NEET project is about Nigeria, and with Nigeria, I think the first question that anybody want to ask is, why is this house broken? How is it possible that a country that is made up of people from the same place cannot seem to make their country work? Somebody asked me the question one time. He said, why do your people run away from the country and your people always complaining? Why can't you people solve your problem? Well, as much as you want to say there are external influences that are causing problems, or you want to say that there are internal dynamics, or you want to even say that everybody travels out of country, so there's really nothing new about that. The fact remains that there is a broken house, and this broken house has attracted different attentions, different reactions for over the years. Many people have decided to pick up guns. Other people have decided to canvass for secession. Some people said it's about the election. They need to vote for the right person. Some come out and say they are the right person. If they are not voted, things will not be solved. But if they are voted, things will be solved. So the question is, any of these reactions, is any of them wrong? Well, you cannot really say they are wrong, including those who pick up planes and fly out of the country. You cannot really say they are wrong. But the question is, are they the best way of reacting to the problem? Are we better off joining hands together and solving the problem once and for all? Or are we saying that whatever this problem is, it cannot be solved? No matter how much effort you put, no matter how hard you work, this problem cannot be solved. So, the idea of the NEET projects, the NEET movement, Nigerians Engineering Outstanding Tomorrow, is to test this, to put this into test. Is it really possible that the nation cannot be fixed? So, you can call it a call it a movement, call it a ministry, call it whatever terminology that you find convenient. But the whole concept is to bring the right people. I use the word right because when it comes to national development, I don't believe it's anybody that can just develop. There are people who are called to it, who have what it takes. The idea of the project is to bring these people together and solve this problem once and for all, or even establish that this problem cannot be solved. So that is why the NEET project exists. Now, in solving a problem, I always like to understand the dynamics of a problem, because for every problem, there's always a root cause. There's always something that caused what you see, such that even that one, another thing caused it. Every problem has a cascade of problems, but if you keep going down, you might get to what is called the root cause, the starting point. So for the Nigerian problem, I like to look at it from a perspective of a truck. In fact, each time I see a long vehicle carrying a container or any kind of goods at all, I always think about the country. Now the question is why? So the question is, why do I see the truck in the country, or why do I use truck to visualize the Nigerian issue? Now let's look at this truck. Let's assume that this is a truck that is equipped with an engine that can do up to 500 kilometers per hour, but this truck is only able to do 60 kilometers per hour. Let us so say that this truck is flying through a route that is filled with sharp turns and bends. So this truck is going to have some kind of challenge navigating around those sharp turns and bends. Let's also say that this truck is driven by drivers who are only required to study the manual as well as learn how to drive the car only while driving. Let also say that this truck is designed, managed, and maintained by a small percentage of engineers that are available. We can also chuck it in there that even these engineers, they are not the very best. Or apart from that, they are smaller in number. They constitute a very small percentage of the population of the engineers that are available. They are still not the very best of engineers that are available in the system. Then we now also say that this truck is competing in a race where speed and comfort of the passengers as well as the drivers is arguably the most important thing in the race. When you combine all these things, you have a situation where the truck is only serving 35% of the market. So now we're back to the question, how does this apply to Nigerian scenario? So let's go over them one by one. I don't think anybody wants to argue against that the engine of the country is the natural and human resources in the territory, and these are grossly underutilized. We can also say that the road is the ethnic and cultural landscapes of the territory. So when you talk about national character, you talk about the state, you talk about the local government, you talk about state government, all these things are pointing towards that there are ethnic landscapes that you just need to find a way to balance them. So that is really where they are all pointing to. So the ethnic differences in the country is the critical roadmap that you need to navigate through. Now we can say that the drivers are the politician while the constitution is the manual. In Nigeria, there is no school of education, no school of governance that teaches people how to govern. You just get there when you get there. Maybe you study one public admin or you not even study anything at all. You're good to go. Then when you get there, you now start navigating around. Then we can say that the engineers are the lawmakers and the law enforcement agencies. Obviously, they are small in number, and some can also argue that for almost every position you pick up in Nigeria, whoever is currently occupying it may not be the best for that position. So, the race itself, ultimately what we are trying to do is to get on top of the world order. You want many Nigerians to be at the top of the world order. That is the ultimate thing that you are trying to do. So when you combine all these things, the 35% are the 70 million, some say 70, some say 60, the whatever million people who are benefiting from the current chaos. So when you look all this in perspective, you will see that this vehicle, this truck, is the federal government of Nigeria. It is the federal government. By federal government, that comprises of what is happening at the federal level, what is happening at the state level, what is happening at the local level, because they're all the same entities, the same constitution that gave all of them power. So it is this vehicle that is the problem. It is this vehicle where you have the passengers, the driver and the driver assistant sitting in front, carrying the car while you stock people at the back. So now that we know, the question now is, do you just ignore this and let it be, or do you say to yourself, I need to act on this? That is the question. Now, if you are going to act, how do you act? Do you act by saying, let us just keep this truck moving? It's just about the truck functioning or moving. Or do you say to yourself, can we take a proper look at this truck again? Can we go back to this truck? The idea of the NEAT project is to come back and say, which one is our best bet? Do we look at this truck again and see what can be done to this truck? Maybe create some holes around the container and probably put some seats inside the container so that whoever sits there will be a bit comfortable. Not just the driver and the assistant in front that are comfortable. Or do we even say to ourselves, why are we even carrying this truck in the first place? Are we not better off with smaller cars, since this race is about speed? Are we not better off with smaller cars, even if they are not the same color, even if they are not the same shape? As long as they make the journey faster, they can navigate those corners and bends faster. So that is what we need to ask ourselves. Which way do we go? Because ultimately, we have established that the race is about speed and the comfort of the passengers. So that is why we have the NEAT project. The NEAT project is saying, what tool do you have? What tool do you have? Can we bring all these tools together? Can we try something different? Can we join all the tools that we have together to try and engineer a solution? That is what the NEAT project is all about. Now, I have used the truck illustration to kind of make this conversation less than 20 minutes because I don't want it to be that long. But it's not as simple as I've put it. As much as the truck does cover the whole basis, it's important that we understand what the mistakes have done. So there is also the NEAT book, which have gone past into the history book to look at what transpired in the past and also forecast what can happen tomorrow. But the most important thing is to identify how you as an individual, whether you are in Nigeria, you are in Canada, you are in Russia, whatever country you are, there is a role that you need to play. And what this book have done is to identify what is that role that is expected of you so that we can create a better nation for ourselves and for the generations to come. So I recommend you get a copy of the book. To get a copy of the book, you can get it from Amazon. But for people in Nigeria, you can get it shipped to you at a cheaper rate. Just visit the website www.gp.com/neat. You can also send an email at to neat@gp.com.ng. So I recommend you get a copy of the book and read it so that you can see whether you have something to contribute. Thank you. I'll see you in the next session.